Part 1. We do this every day. Every day, many of us change small things because of other people. We read our message again before sending it. We look at a photo and think, do I look strange? We want to say something in class, at work, or even with friends, but we stay quiet. Sometimes we choose different clothes, different words, or even a different smile, just because we are thinking about how other people may see us. This happens so often that we hardly notice it. It feels normal. We tell ourselves that everyone does it, and that may be true. But after some time, a bigger question begins to appear. Why do other people's opinions have so much power over us? Why can one small comment stay in our mind all day? Why do we remember one judgment much longer than one kind word? The strange thing is that many of us already know a simple truth. People will always think something. Some will like us, some will not, and some will not really care. But even when we know this, we still worry. We still replay moments in our head. We still wonder if we sounded foolish, looked awkward, or said the wrong thing. This fear is quiet, but it can change the way we live. It can make us smaller, more careful, and less honest. It can stop us from speaking, trying, wearing, choosing, and simply being ourselves. So, why do we care so much about what people think? Why does the heart feel so heavy under other people's eyes? And how do we stop giving every opinion a place inside us? That is what this story is about. Part 2, we want to belong. A big reason we care so much about other people's opinions is simple. We want to belong. Most people want to feel accepted, included, and safe with others. We want to feel that we are liked, respected, and not pushed away. Because of that, other people's reactions can feel very important, even when we wish they did not. This starts from something very human. When people smile at us, listen to us, or agree with us, we often feel calm and comfortable. But when someone judges us, laughs at us, or looks disappointed, the feeling can stay in the heart for a long time. Even a small moment can make us question ourselves. We may start thinking, did I say something wrong? Or do they think I am strange? That is why other people's opinions can have so much power. It is not only about pride, it is also about safety. Deep inside, many of us feel that being accepted means we are okay, while being rejected means something is wrong with us. Of course, this is not always true, but the heart does not always think in a calm way. The problem is that this need can become too strong. When we care too much about being accepted, we stop asking what is true for us. Instead, we keep asking what will make other people happy, what will make us look better, or what will help us avoid judgment. So, in the end, we are not only trying to live, we are trying to be approved of. And that is a very tiring way to live. Part 3, it starts very early. This habit often starts much earlier than we think. When we are children, we learn to watch people very closely. We look at faces, voices, and reactions. We notice when people smile at us, praise us, or seem proud of us. We also notice when they laugh at us, compare us to others, or look disappointed. Even if nobody explains it clearly, we begin to understand one thing very fast. Approval feels good, and judgment feels painful. Because of this, many of us grow up connecting our value to other people's reactions. When someone says, "Good job," we feel more confident. When someone criticizes us, even in a small way, we may feel ashamed or embarrassed. Little by little, we start asking not only, "What do I want?" but also, "What will make people happy with me?" This question can stay with us for many years. School can make this feeling even stronger. Children are often praised for being smart, quiet, talented, or well-behaved. At the same time, they may feel hurt when they are corrected in front of others, compared with classmates, or laughed at for a mistake. These moments may look small from the outside, but they can stay in the heart for a long time. That is why caring about opinions is not always just a bad habit. For many people, it became part of life very early. It was a way to stay safe, avoid shame, and feel accepted. The problem is that this old habit does not always leave when we grow older. Even as adults, part of us may still feel like that child who wants to be liked, wants to do well, and does not want to be judged. So when we worry too much about what people think, we are often carrying something older than the moment itself. Part 4. Social media makes it worse. Today, this problem feels even stronger because of social media. In the past, people mostly worried about family, friends, classmates, or neighbors. Now the feeling is much bigger. We can post one photo, one sentence, or one short video, and suddenly we start thinking about what many people may think. Even when nobody says anything directly, the mind still becomes busy. A person may look at their post again and again. They may check how many likes it gets, who watched it, or why someone did not react. If the numbers are low, they may feel embarrassed. If someone leaves a cold comment, they may think about it all day. And even when everything looks fine, there is still pressure. Many people compare themselves with others and quietly ask, "Do I look good enough? Do I sound smart enough? Am I interesting enough?" That is why social media can make our fear much heavier. It gives us more chances to compare, more chances to feel watched, and more chances to imagine judgment. Sometimes the pain does not even come from real opinions. It comes from the opinions we create in our own mind. We begin to think that everyone notices our mistakes, our face, our body, our words, and our choices. But most of the time, that fear is larger than reality. Social media makes other people's attention look more important than it really is. After a while, we stop using it in a simple way. Instead, we start performing. We choose what looks safe, what seems acceptable, and what may get approval. And little by little, we become less free than before. Part 5. The cost of caring too much. When we care too much about what people think, the cost is often quiet at first. Nothing dramatic happens in one day, but slowly it begins to change the way we live. We become more careful with our words, more nervous with our choices, and less honest about who we are. Instead of asking, "Do I like this?" we start asking, "Will people approve of this?" This can affect many parts of life. A person may stay quiet even when they have something important to say. They may hide their real style, their real opinion, or even their real dream because they are afraid of looking strange. Sometimes they do not try new things, not because they cannot, but because they are scared of failing in front of others. The fear of judgment becomes stronger than the desire to grow. That is why caring too much can be so tiring. The mind is always working. It is always checking, guessing, and trying to stay safe. After some time, this creates pressure. A simple conversation can feel stressful. A small mistake can feel huge. A normal decision can feel heavy. Because the person is not only living the moment, they are also trying to manage other people's opinions. The saddest part is that this habit slowly pulls us away from ourselves. We smile when we do not want to. We agree when we do not mean it. We live in a way that looks acceptable, but does not feel true. And when that happens for too long, life starts to feel smaller. We may look fine on the outside, but inside we feel tired, unsure, and less free. That is the real cost of caring too much. We do not only lose peace, we also begin to lose ourselves. Part 6. The truth. People think less about us than we think. One truth can help us feel a little lighter. Most people are not thinking about us as much as we imagine. They are usually busy thinking about their own life, their own problems, and their own mistakes. They worry about how they look, what they said, and whether other people judge them too. In many ways, they are doing the same thing we are doing. This is why the fear in our mind is often bigger than reality. We may remember one awkward moment for days, while the other person forgets it in a few minutes. We may think everyone noticed our mistake, but most people were not paying that much attention. They were probably focused on themselves. Of course, some people do judge. Some people say unkind things. That is part of life. But not every opinion deserves so much space in our heart. If we give power to every look, every comment, and every small reaction, we make life much heavier than it needs to be. It also helps to remember that people's opinions often say more about them than about us. What they like, what they dislike, and what they criticize are shaped by their own experience, mood, and beliefs. So, when someone does not understand us, it does not always mean we are wrong. This does not mean we should stop caring completely. It is normal to care a little. We all want respect and kindness. But there is a big difference between listening to helpful feedback and living in fear of judgment. The more we understand this, the more freedom we feel. We begin to see that many of the eyes we feared were never watching that closely. And when we stop carrying imagined judgment all the time, the heart can finally breathe a little more easily. Part 7, ending. So, why do we care so much about what people think? We care because we are human. We want to belong. We want to be accepted. And we want to feel safe with others. That feeling is natural. And there is nothing strange about it. The problem begins when other people's opinions become louder than our own voice. When that happens, life becomes heavy. We stop speaking honestly, choosing freely, and showing who we really are. We become too busy trying not to be judged, and little by little, we forget how to live with ease. We may look fine on the outside, but inside we are always checking, guessing, and holding back. Maybe freedom does not begin when nobody judges us. Maybe freedom begins when we stop giving every opinion so much power. Some people will understand us, and some will not. Some will like us, and some will not. That is part of life, and it will always be that way. We do not need everyone's approval to live a good and honest life. What matters more is this: can we live in a way that feels true to us? Can we speak with honesty, choose with courage, and make peace with the fact that not everyone will agree? When we begin to do that, the heart becomes lighter. We stop trying to control every thought in every mind, and we return to our own life. So if you have been carrying this fear, be gentle with yourself. You are not weak and you are not alone. But you do deserve a life that is not ruled by other people's opinions. And maybe that life begins with one quiet decision to be a little more yourself, even if not everyone understands.